Daf Samach Tes Samad Base, 7 lines from the top. Ketzad. How does one make bittul? Bittul b'shus, relinquishing one's right in the chotzer and the malvi. How does one do it? Ketzad. Aimer loy reshus iknuilach. The person says to his neighbors, "My reshus, the rights that I have in this malvi, are transferred to you." Reshus imu v'telslach. The rights that I have is mavotel to you. It's bottled to you. If he uses a lashon like that, if he uses either one of those lashonas, kana, then the recipient is kaina. Ve'ein sarach leskais, and he does not have to make a formal kinyan. He doesn't have to make a kinyan suitor. He doesn't have to make a formal kinyan. Just by the declaration itself, then he is mavatal the reshus to the recipient. Rav Ashi Omar, coming back to the statement we just learned previously, the statement that Rav Huna said. Rav Huna said, "Ezeu Yisrael Mumar, Zeh Machal Shabbos B'Farhesia." So we had a question on that because what does he hold like? If he holds like Rav Meir, he says a Mumar L'Davar Echad is Mumar L'Chol Torah Kula, then why single out Shabbos? And if he holds like the Rabbanan that says a Mumar L'Davar Echad is not a Mumar L'Chol Torah Kula, then why should we say if he's a mumar, if a person is over the affair, he's a machal Shabbos, why should that be considered like he's a mumar l'chol Torah kula? Why do we say that it should be, including Shabbos, it should be davke a mumar l'avodah zarah? So previously the Gemara gave one teretz, now Rav Ashi is giving another interpretation and explanation of Rav Huna. So he holds, Hi Tanu, Rav Huna is going like the following Tanu. That really he holds that a mumar l'davar echad is not a mumar l'chol Torah kula. Really he holds like the Rabbanan. However, this Tana holds, however, the exception is Shabbos. If a person is machal Shabbos, Shabbos has the chamur, the chumras of a avodah zarah, and just like if a person is a mumar l'avodah zarah, is a mumar l'chol Torah kula, similarly, if he's a mumar l'chal Shabbos, he's also a mumar l'chol Torah kula. And we see it from the following brayso. Get a sign we learned in the brayso, mikem. The Torah says, Adam ki yakrav mikem korban lashem. If a person will be makar from you, korban lashem, so min abakra, min abahimi, min abakra, min sonta, krivias korbanchem. So the beginning is when the Torah, the introduction in Sefer Vayikra to bring korbanas, Adam ki yakrav mikem korban lashem. So the Tana Darshan is as follows: Mikem, from amongst you, v'loy kulchem. It means that some of you are entitled, are eligible to bring a korban, but not all of you. Prat l'mumar. A mumar is not eligible; he cannot bring a korban. Mikem, from amongst you. Where did I make this chiluk? Where did I differentiate between a mumar and a non-mumar? That's only by you. By Bnei Yisrael. Bachem chilakti. But v'loy b'umas. But not umas oilam. By umas oilam, even an Ovid avodah zarah can bring a korban oilam. Mina behema, it says from the animals, lahavi b'nei adam adayim la behema. It includes people who are adayim la behema, are similar to behema. And therefore, even people who do averas or over averas. So it's mina behema, the kilo, it's darshaning, the rights of darshaning, mina behema yakriv, that a person who is like a behema, he could bring a korban. Mikan amru, we see from here, mekam korbanos mipaishi Yisrael, kadesh yachzer b'tshuva. So we see from here that even though people who do averas, we are mekabel korbanos from them, so that they will be chayzer b'tshuva. Chutz min amumar, except min amumar v'manasach yayin, or someone who's manasach, he pours wine for avodah zarah, v'machal Shabbos b'farhesia, or he's machal Shabbos b'farhesia in public. So it seems to be a stira, an inherent stira in the brayso. Angu fakash. Amrad mikem v'loy kolchem loytzei samumar. The opening statement, the ratio of the brayso is mikem, and we're excluding a mumar. But then it says we are mekabel korbanos mipnei Yisrael. So it seems to be a stira halikash. Reisha b'mumar l'chol Torah kula. Where does it say? It says in the Reisha that we're not mekabel a carbon from a mumar. That's the kol Torah kula. He's a mumar l'chol Torah. Mitziyasa b'mumar l'davar echad. The Mitziyah says, where do we say that we are mekabel karbanos mina behema? That from b'nei amrit daimel and behema. That's if they're a mumar for a particular avera, but not l'kol Torah kula. If it's a mumar l'kol Torah kula, we're not mekabel from particular where we are. I aim a sefer chutz min hamumar v'menasach yayin. It says chutz min hamumar and menasach yayin. Hi mumar hechidami. I mumar l'chol Torah ein reisha. If it's a mumar l'chol Torah, you already told me in the reisha they were not mekabel. Ila davar echad, and if it's only mumar l'davar echad, kasha mitziyasa, then it's kasha mitziyasa, which says a mumar l'davar echad. We are mekabel the karbonis. How do we resolve it? El alav hachik. So Rashi explains as follows: Chutz min hamumar. When a mumar is not an independent statement, it's chutz min hamumar linasek ulchal Shabbos b'verhesia. Except one who is a mumar for avodah zorah or chil Shabbos b'verhesia. There, even though he's not a mumar for all of the mitzvahs, but it's treated like he's a mumar l'chol Torah because of the chumrah of avodah zorah and Shabbos. It's treated like he's a mumar l'chol Torah kula. Alma avodah zorah v'Shabbos ki'ador ninu. So we see that Shabbos is like avodah zorah. It has that same chumrah, and if he's a mumar l'chol Shabbos farhasi, he's a mumar l'chol Torah kula. Shma mino. So we see this Tana. He be'etzem holds that a mumar l'davar echad is not a mumar l'chol Torah kula. However, avodah zorah he is, and Shabbos has the chumrah of avodah zorah, and he's a mumar l'chol Shabbos farhasi is also considered to be a mumar l'chol Torah kula. Zok the Mishnah. Anshe chotzer, if you have the members of a chotzer, sheshakach echad mem v'lo yiriv, one of the members of the chotzer did not join the eruv. So they all joined in eruv, except one member did not. He's left out of it. So therefore, he did not join the eruv. As we'll see in the Gemara, even if he made bittul, if he was not mevatel rishus, they're all also to carry from their houses to the chotzer. But if he was mevatel rishus, then they can carry from their houses to the chotzer because they acquired his rights in the chotzer. There's no separate ownership. It's all the members of the eruv. However, Beisai asur malachles elohes. His house, no one can carry from him. His Beisai is also to carry loy v'lahem, both for them and for him, because he did not join the eruv. They did not acquire, as we'll see in the Gemara, they did not acquire the rights to his house. So they can carry from their house to the chotzer. He cannot carry from his house to the chotzer. He didn't join the eruv. And they also cannot carry from his house to the chotzer because they have not acquired his rights in the house. Ushalahem utarm lo yalehem. But their houses, they can carry from their houses to the chotzer because they're all part of the eruv, and he doesn't answer on them because he was mevatel rishus, so they can carry from their houses to the chotzer, and so can he. How can he? As we'll see in the Gemara, we consider him to be a guest, so therefore he can carry from their house to the eruv. Nosel rishuson, if they gave the rishus to him. So he didn't join the eruv. They did, but in the case over here, it wasn't that he was mevatel to them, they were mevatel to him. Hu mutter, he's allowed to carry from his house to the chotzer. V'hein asurim, but they are awesome. Hayu shnayim, if there were two residents that forgot to join in the eruv, if there were two of them, Oisrim zelze, then they ask on each other, because even if the other members of the chotzer were mevatel rishus to them, but they ask on each other. So therefore they ask on Oisrim zelze, and they cannot carry from their houses to the chotzer. She'echad noisen rishus and noitel rishus. If there's one person, then he's noisen rishus and noitel rishus. He can mevatel to others, and others mevatel to him. But shnaim noisen rishus, if there are two people that can mevatel to others, but the ein noitel rishus, but they cannot acquire because they answer on each other. This din of bittul that you can give rishus. When does this have to be done by? Beis Shammai says it has to be done from before Shabbos, before the onset of Shabbos. Beis Hillel say that even from when it gets dark. If a person was mevatel rishus, and then after he was mevatel rishus, he carried into the chotzer, whether he did a b'shogeg or a mezid, he answers. That's what Rameir said. So as we learned before on Daf Samach Ches, and we'll see in the Gemara shortly, there are two ways of learning it. That there is the issue over here is, can you be mevatel v'chayzer mevatel? Person is mevatel to the other member of the resident, and the other resident of the chotzer rather, can that member be mevatel back to the first person? Do we say, in other words, that a person with mevatel rishus, he completely relinquishes himself in the chotzer, and therefore he's not a member of the chotzer anymore, or he doesn't completely relinquish his rights, and therefore he still retains the ability to acquire it back? So one mahalach over here is Rameir holds mevatel chayz mevatel. So if one member, let's say Reuven, is mevatel rishus to Shimon, then if Reuven goes when he carries back into the chotzer, whether shogeg or mezid, he reacquires the rights back. He takes it back. So therefore he answers on the other members. That's one way of learning it. The other way of learning it is no, ein chayzer mevatel, ein mevatel chayzer mevatlen. Really, therefore, b'shogeg meikar din, you don't acquire it back. It's only b'mezid. If he does it b'mezid, then we say that it was not a genuine bittul. And regards to shogeg out to mezid. So Al Kalpana Rameir says whether it's b'shogeg or mezid, that he answered Rav Yehuda Omer b'mezid oiser b'shogeg eina oiser. So the Gemara will explain now, Beisa Hudas. So the first halacha, the Reish of the Mishnah, says that if a person forgot, did not join the Eruv, his mevatel rishus to the others, Beisa, his house, it's also that nobody can carry from his house to the chotzer. Beisa Hudas or chotzer shari, but the rights in the chotzer are permitted. Therefore, the other members could carry from their house to the chotzer. If he made a bittul based on my ulcer, so why should his house be ulcer? If he's mevatel rishus, then it should be include his house as well. And if he's not mevatel, why can they carry from their houses to the chotzer? More answers off of my eskina and going to bittul rishus chatzeiroi, whereas mevatel the rishus is chatzer, but v'loy bittul rishus beis. So he was only beferish. He was mevatel the rishus and the chatzer, but not the house. Because some rabbanan mevatel rishus chatzeiroi rishus beisoi v'loy bittul, and the rabbanan hold just because he's mevatel rishus and the chatzer, that doesn't show you, it doesn't indicate that he's mevatel rishus in his house. Because a person could live in a house even though he doesn't have rights in the chatzer. So therefore he was mevatel the rishus in the chatzer. That's a bittul. That doesn't indicate that he's mevatel rishus in his house. Therefore his house is his exclusive domain, and they can't carry from his house to the chotzer. They can carry from their houses to the chotzer because their house is their domain. The chotzer is also their domain because he has relinquished his rights in the chotzer, but not in his house. So they can't carry from his house to the chotzer. But their houses are mutter not only to them, it's mutter to him as well. So my timer. Why should we say that he can carry from their house to the chotzer? He does not have any rights in the. He's relinquished the rights in the chotzer, but he's not considered part of the eruv, so he's not part of the ownership group of the house. How can he carry? Because we say he's considered to be a guest. He doesn't have an ownership over there. Then he doesn't use it like they can use it, but however, he's considered like a guest in their houses. So therefore, he's part and parcel of their household in that respect, and they can carry just like they can carry from their house to the chotzer. So can he? If he if they rather they were mevatel their rishus to him, who muter vein asurim, then he's muter, but they are also, and they cannot. For the Gemara, well, why don't we say the same thing in reverse? Why don't we consider them to be guests? Just like he's mevatel rishus, he can carry from their houses to the chotzer. Well, when we say when they're mevatel to him, why shouldn't we say the same thing? And they should also be able to carry not from their houses to the chotzer, but from his house to the chotzer. Gemara answers, if there's, for instance, there's 5 people in the chotzer, and he's mevatel, the one person is mevatel rishus, so you can say that one person is a guest by the other members. He's the singular member, he's a guest by them. But if in the reverse case that 5 are mevatel to him, to say that 5 people are guests by the one person, we don't say. We don't treat them as being part of his household. So therefore, if they're mevatel rishus to him, they are also not only in their houses, but in his house as well. Now the Gemara is assuming that this case is a continuation of the previous case, meaning that both of these occurrences happened on the same Shabbos. So therefore, can we not learn out from here that even though there's a bittul, the person that acquired the rishus can now be mevatel it back to the other residents? So can we not learn out from here that mevatel, the Gemara says no. It's not a continuation of the case, it's a separate case, and it occurred on a separate Shabbos. If they were mevatel rishus from originally, hu muter vehein asur, and he's muter, and there they are asur. It's a separate case. If they were mevatel rishus to him, he's muter, and they're asur. If there were two people forgot to join in the Eruv. Now, even if the other ones are mevatel to them, they asr on each other, because there's still 2 people that have not joined in the Eruv. It's as if you had 2 people in the chotzer to begin with, and they don't have an Eruv, they asr on each other. Well, of course that's the case. The chiddush is over here is even afterwards, even after the other residents were mevatel to these 2 people, then one of them were mevatel his rights, his own rights, and the rights that he received from the other members, all to the remaining party. So therefore, the remaining party receives all of the rights. So there aren't 2 people there to aser with the same lishter. You might think in such a case it should be muter kemash malan. Kemash malan, that no. Meaning, if there are 2 people, it remains also, and even if one is later mevatel to the other one, it doesn't help. The kavan in the bot loy havelishus by chotzer, because since at the time when the other residents initially, when they were mevatel to these 2, it had no effect. It couldn't take they answer to each other, so therefore it doesn't help at all. Because came to be in the bottle at the time that they were mevatel to these 2, there was no heter. It didn't take effect, so therefore the original bittul is meaningless. It's null and void. It's meaningless, and therefore you cannot be mevatel afterwards one to the other. So the Mishnah continues that one person can be mevatel to others, and the Mishnah says that he can also acquire. Why does the Mishnah have to reiterate this and tell me this? If to tell me that he can be mevatel to others, we already learned this. And tanina. And if he can acquire from others, then we also learned this. So what's the chiddush over here? That he can be mevatel to others, that can receive from others? We know this already. Gemara says, that says 2 people that they can be mevatel, they can noisen give rishus. That's also possible. So if they giving rishus to be mevatel rishus, what's the difference if 1 is giving over, 2 is giving over? Where it says mao, the same you might have thought ligzer we should be geyser, lahu, because you might think we should be geyser. that if two people can't be meval to the others, we'll say that two people can also receive from others. And as we learned previously, two people can't receive from others because they answer on each other. So therefore, you might say that we're going to ha to ha kamash malan.